Kyle Tucker or Kyle Schwarber? And is Kyle Schwarber potentially set for a homecoming with the Chicago Cubs? We're going to talk about that. Kade Horton and an update on him. And like I said, he was going to pitch if the Cubs had beaten the Brewers and gone to the championship series. And the Cubs with a list of potential Gold Glovers. All that right here on the Cubs Baseball channel. So like, subscribe, thumbs up. Even mess with the Cardinals if you want to, in a funny and nice way. We don't want to be rude to that last place or second to last place team that didn't make the postseason. All right, let's get this thing. Yes, everybody. Welcome to the Cubs Baseball channel. And the swag is here. Look at that. Got the new hat on, and you got a chance to win one. We're going to talk about that later on in the show and how you can sign up for an opportunity to win one because we got a box of them. And after that, we'll get some more. But they look good. I was pretty impressed. I love our logo, and I love the community that we've created. All right, let's get right into it, though. You don't want to talk about these new hats. You want to talk about the headline, which I think is really interesting because I am not going to tell you that this rumor could not happen, and that is Kyle Tucker or Kyle Schwarber. Now, the Phillies all of a sudden are listed as one of the teams potentially in the mix to sign the Cubs' Kyle Tucker, and the Cubs gave up an enormous bounty to get him. We've talked about that ad nauseum on this channel. I mean, you have to, right? So it's an enormous amount of players and money and everything else to get this guy. And now he's a free agent, and there is a potential that he's going to bolt for somewhere else. Dodgers, right? Which, if the Dodgers sign him, there could be a mutiny in baseball. We'll get into that, I guess, on another show. But a lot of people not real happy about the amount of money that the Dodgers are spending, and they're the overwhelming favorite to win the World Series. The Mariners may be the only team to stop them because William Contreras and his L flag flying Brewers have not done a great job, right? Still plenty of series to go, but they look overmatched. Dodgers just have a stable of pitching, and they've got some of the best players, including Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman on their team. So if Kyle Tucker bolts, the Phillies have said, hey, their owner was like, we want to have Kyle Schwarber. We want to sign him. They can't have both, right? So you're looking at about $400 million around there for Kyle Tucker. And they're saying that Schwarber is going to be like under $200 million. Now, Schwarbs is obviously a different type of guy. He did lead the National League in home runs with 56. The guy drove in 132 runs last year. 132. I mean, those are like 80s numbers. Remember when guys were doing that like in the 70s? Schwarbs did it. Yeah, he even hit 240 this year, which I always thought, and I talked to Tim Wilkin, who was part of the Cubs scouting department that helped draft him. We always felt like the guy could hit 300, 310. He could win a batting title if he wanted to, but he became a slugger. And that pays the bills, right? He's got 340 home runs in 11 years. He's on pace for 500 in a Hall of Fame career if he gets there. The Cubs could use him. He'd be a DH, and it would change a lot of things with the outlook of this roster. But who would you rather have? You saw the first half Kyle Tucker. He's one of the best all-around players in baseball. He's got a great eye. He gets on base. He's got power. He plays great defense. He is a star, no doubt about it. Or the guy that helped you win the only World Series you've won in over 100 and whatever years, right? It was 108 when they won, and they haven't won in, 10. So, like, that long. And from a marketing standpoint, not only does he fit this roster, and not only was it a mistake to let him walk in the first place, but from a marketing standpoint, to have one guy that can wear the ring and was the hero of the series You can go sell that. You can put him on billboards if he would want that challenge, because playing for the Cubs is different than playing for the Phillies. It's different than playing for the Nationals. It's different than playing for a lot of other teams. And when you won a World Series for the Cubs, you are a legend. He's a legend. I told him that last time I saw him. I said, man, you're a legend. Like, this was years ago. Doesn't matter what you do the rest of your career. You are a legend. Well, guess what? Now all of a sudden you add in All-Star Game MVP. You add in there all the home runs that he's hit in the postseason. What a hero he's been. How he can take games over. All the RBIs. And look at this Cubs team with him in the lineup. I know he's a DH. You don't put him in the field. He doesn't catch. He just hits. You know, what would you do with Moises Ballesteros? I think you'd trade him. I would trade him and get something good back for him, like pitching. Because there's other teams that would want him because they realize, hey, this guy can play. If you signed Kyle Schwarber. Do I think the Cubs are going to be in the mix for Kyle Tucker? I know a lot of the media people say no. They would be fools to just let him walk away because they invested too much in him. But this would appease the fan base. I would be appeased. Give me Schwarbs. I'll take him over Tucker. We saw Tucker good for a half a year, hurt for the rest. Tucker did really not a whole lot in the postseason. And it's a lot of money for one guy. And you don't know what you're going to get. Besides that, we have Owen Casey. So, okay, well, Owen Casey, look, we got right field covered. Him and Seiya could platoon. I think they ought to mix these guys up and have them play some left field too. I don't think that left field is a spot that you couldn't have some other guys play. I don't think Ian Happ's an everyday player. I'm just going to say it. Sorry. But this would be, to me, this is exciting. And look, I may be out there, but it was Bleacher Report that kind of said, hey, you know, this is something to keep an eye on. You know, if Tucker gets 10 years, $400 million, Zach Buckley put this out. They do great work there. You know, then the Cubs could potentially go after Schwarber. A lot of teams would go after him. But if I was the Cubs, and I told you that before, Schwarber's looking at like 6 years, $150 million. From a marketing standpoint, you could make some of that money back. Plus the wins and losses that go with it. And the nostalgia. I mean, think about him chasing 500 home runs, being in the lineup every day. I don't know. Well, actually, I do know. I want him. And if we could get him back, that would be fantastic. And then you work the roster around that. But how about having one guy in the lineup that you don't want to face? Because sometimes this year, after the first half of the season, it felt like that lineup rolled over and there wasn't a whole lot of threats. In those games against Milwaukee, wouldn't you have liked to have had the modern-day Babe Ruth in your lineup? I know he doesn't pitch and Shohei's the Japanese Babe Ruth, but you know what? From a home run standpoint, Schwarbs is that guy. I mean, these are Ruthian-type numbers. 46 home runs in 22, 47 home runs in 23, 38 home runs last year, 56 this year. That's what the Bambino did. Bring me the Bambino that we drafted. All right. I'm a little too excited, but I saw this and I was like, you're hitting a nerve right now. Everybody could bring back their Schwarb jerseys, or you get a new one. How about your Friday Blue Schwarbers? I'd have to sign me up. I just think that the Cubs need some more, it's just a danger in the lineup. And if you're not going to spend the money on bringing back Kyle Tucker, Kyle Schwarber would be one of those guys you could get that would make people really, really excited and happy. All right, let's talk about excited and happy. I have been promising you guys that these were coming. And they're here. The swag. This is the first round of stuff that we have. And this is the new hat. Look at this. It's a Richardson hat. It's got the Cubs baseball channel logo on it. Little cubby blue with white sides, trucker hat style. These are hot right now. And we got some. I'm going to tell you how to get it. Because I feel like we need to generate some excitement, being that we fell short in the postseason, and we're going to do it right here with that QR code. Hit that QR code. You got to be part of Mick Nation to win. You get to basically pick games. Who's going to win the playoff series? Who's going to win in college football? I cover college football. We put that in there. It's Mick Nation. So we got to talk about the stuff. I'm going to ask them to put the Bears in there too, because I know a lot of you guys are Bears fans. Probably should put some Packers in there because I know that Boyd isn't the only Packers fan hanging out here. You guys tell me what you want to basically pick, and we'll get it in there. And then comment here. Tell me what you liked. Tell me what you want. And I'm going to give some of these away. Let's go ahead and say this. Let's go ahead and just knock one out. The next 2 days in the comments section, as long as you're a part of AveD, you can win one of these Cubs baseball channel hats. I need a picture with you wearing it or whoever you give it to. But they're here. So I'm excited about it. We got some more swag coming, but this is the first box, and I'm really happy with what Goatees has sent us. So let's get this thing going. So hit the QR code. Make sure that you sign up and be a part of AveD. And I mean it, man. This is exciting times. Go Cubs. All right. Kade Horton. Update on Kade Horton. Jed Hoyer, the Cubs president. I'm going to be talking about what he had to say for a while on shows. I didn't want to get into that today because I felt like the Kyle Schwarber stuff was to me, the headline. A free agent? Hey, let's go ahead and throw our hat in that. Let's do it. Kade Horton is coming back strong from the rib injury. Jed Hoyer said he was going to pitch if the Cubs would have beaten the Brewers. I told you guys that was going to happen. Now, I didn't think about this. He said that, well, he wasn't stretched out. He probably wasn't going to throw a whole lot, but they were going to use him. He is going to win the Rookie of the Year. And if he doesn't, I will be absolutely shocked. But with that said, it was good news to know that he's doing better. He's so dominant in the second half. I loved listening to Jed's assessment of how he was incorporating the changeup and he was throwing more splitters, just the different things that he was doing, because as predicted by yours truly, he was the best pitcher that the Cubs have developed since Pryor and Wood, Mark Pryor and Kerry Wood. And he stood up to that. And the guy's biggest issue is being healthy, staying healthy. But with that said, that's good news. Bad news is in this game, we needed you. We needed you, Cade. And from what Jed said, he really wanted to pitch in that postseason. They just couldn't let him do it. I don't know. What I'll tell you is that we needed him because he's the guy that could have made a difference in that series. He's that good. Final thing on today's show, and make sure that you guys are part of the Cubs baseball channel. Like, subscribe, do all that, thumbs up, comment. All right, here we go. Let me throw it on the stage. Let me talk about this. They came out with the finalists for the Gold Glove Award, and the Cubs have 6 guys that are finalists. Matthew Boyd, left-hander. Ian Happ, left field. He's been dominant in the Gold Glove category. Nico at second base. No surprise there. He's already won a Gold Glove. Carson Kelly. How about that? Gold Glove for the catcher. Pete Crow Armstrong. Hollywood Pete. And how about Matt Shaw getting the nod as far as people that are potentially candidates for a Gold Glove, right? And so this is exciting. This is good news for the Cubs in a couple areas. And then I'm going to tell you there's one guy that's not on there that kind of surprises me. So first off, let's just go with the guys that I feel like have the best shot. And it starts with Ian Happ. Look, Happ has won this thing. He's been the undisputed champion of Gold Gloves for left fielders. He's out there again. I don't know why he wouldn't win it again. I mean, he's done a nice job out there, and I'd say I put him in a category to win. Now, the guy that is, there's no chance he doesn't win, and he may win. Do they do the platinum glove in the big leagues? I know they do in the minor leagues, and that's Pete Crow Armstrong, because Pete Crow Armstrong isn't just the best center fielder. He's the best defender at his position than anybody else in any other position. Yeah. And I said that before he even played a big league game. Now you're seeing it. And he is absolutely acrobatic, electric. It's amazing the things that he's able to do. And he's on that list, and he's going to win. Nico Horner deserves to win. I mean, another great year at second base. So I'm going to go ahead and give him the nod. I remember talking to Greg Maddux about all the Gold Gloves that he won. I mean, he was really proud of it, and he should be. He said, look, I would tell the infielders, like, basically, I got the middle. And you go back and you watch that guy, cat-like reflexes, made all the plays. You don't bunt on Greg Maddux. Mad Dog was awesome. And he shows you, like, how important it is to field your position as a pitcher. And Matthew Boyd had an excellent year. Part of that was he was so good defensively. So I think he's got a really good shot to win it. I think Matt Shaw is a long shot. Not that he doesn't deserve to win the Gold Glove at third base, because the dude is just amazing. He's a shortstop playing third. So he's going to get to a lot of things that other guys can't. I doubt that he's going to win. I don't think he's got a big enough name yet in the game, but I'd love to see it. And then Carson Kelly behind the plate. I look at the Cubs this offseason, and I'm going, that's an area where I would love to see them go out, make a deal with Baltimore, get Retchman, and then keep Carson Kelly. I'd love to have that 1-2 punch behind the plate. Kelly had an awesome year, and I hope he wins. Now, one guy that's not on this list was Dansby Swanson, and that's surprising. I mean, we saw in the Padres series how amazing he can be defensively, how just electric he can be playing the shortstop position. And I get frustrated with his lack of clutch hitting, but I look at shortstop different than I look at left field. And I kind of feel like he and Ian Happ are very similar type players, but the shortstop position is the toughest position to play. And if you get any kind of production from a guy that plays that good defensively, you're pretty happy with it. But he's not on this list, so we'll see. But the Cubs had, 3 last year? And they got 6 finalists? I think they're going to at least have 3 this year. And I think that's one of the reasons why the Cubs were so good this season. Because there were a lot of games where they weren't hitting with runners in scoring position, didn't get a lot of runs, and still won. And they still won because they were so good defensively. They made the pitching staff a lot better because those guys could trust them. And I've changed my opinion on one big thing in baseball. And you guys tell me what you think in the comments section. I used to think it was pitching and defense. But sometimes I think it's defense and pitching. When your defense is that good, you pitch a lot better because you have confidence in those guys to make plays. How many of those outfield plays did Pete Crow Armstrong make that were just amazing and took hits away and changed innings and changed games? Same thing with shortstop, even though he's not on this list. Same thing with second. Same thing with third. Happer is that's pretty impressive what he's done out there. So anyway, we'll see what it is. I'm going to talk a lot about the Jed Hoyer press conference moving forward. I don't think it's a long shot at all for the Cubs to potentially be interested in Kyle Schwarber. I look at what we have in the system. I look at where this team lacks sometimes. And I look at the marketing aspect of it. I mean, can you imagine the Cubs convention if Kyle Schwarber came back home? And it was a tough year for us. We lost Rhino. Like Rhino. The face of the Cubs for a long time and our friend. And it's a business. You want to win, but you also want to keep your fan base connected. And Kyle Schwarber would be that guy. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this all pans out, but I don't think it's that big of a stretch. Cubs need someone to kind of put as the centerpiece of their lineup. And if they don't feel like Kyle Tucker's that guy or they want to do it for less, I think they got the pieces to be able to fill in to right field just fine. So we'll see. All right. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, get in the comments section. Tell me what you guys think. Thank you for being here. I don't know how, but this offseason has actually got me fired up. I thought for sure I was going to take days off because we didn't win and I wasn't happy. And then I saw that L flag by old Contreras, and I was like, oh, okay. Give me some juice. We'll talk again soon, guys. Thank you for being here. And again, don't forget, hit that QR code, AveD. Pick those games. Get in the comments section. Tell me what you guys want to go ahead and be able to pick at AveD, how to make the site better. And I'm sending out hats. And we're going to start with, I'm going to send one out this weekend. So you qualify from this show on until Sunday. How's that? All right. Go Cubs.